All right, good evening, everybody. It is now the end of January 2018. 1 month has already absolutely flown by. We're getting ready to close out the month, and this training will be about getting started. And we will have a special guest on at the end of the call talking about one of the products. But let's get going on getting people started right. And I want to share my screen here so you guys can see what I'm going to go over. And it's going to be really fast. Normally, this would probably take about 45 minutes to an hour to go over, so it's going to be super compressed. But I want you to know that you can find this. I'm going to post it to our Facebook page. Maybe we'll put it as the pin post on One Person Big Difference. And all this is, you guys, is what we go over with new distributors. And it is exactly the same as the blueprint. It's just in a different version that we can print off right away to sit down with the distributor as soon as they enroll. So the first page is just basically saying that. It's the cliff notes to doing this business, and it's a step-by-step guide designed to help you get started right away. And in this business, it's not a business that you do by yourself. It's really a business that we do together. That doesn't mean that we're going to build the business for people. They build it for themselves, but we're going to give them the tools and the necessary success methods and tracks. So the blueprint is what every single one of us have done. And it's the route that every single elite that I've known has used to really get where they've gotten. So the second page here is really going through, and just once you've enrolled them, having a place where they can write down some different things that they're going to need to get started with their business. So the first thing there, just write down their distributor ID for them. It's going to be immediately presented as soon as their order goes through. And then the next thing that I would write down is their replicated website address. So actually log into their back office with them, show them where that's at, and then go into the business site admin tab under account services. And you can write in there, and they can change and put whatever their replicated website that they want it to be. It's always followed by .lifevantage.com. So for example, one of our business centers is Michelle Poe, .lifevantage.com. Another one is Shawn and Michelle, .lifevantage.com. Another one is biohack.lifevantage.com. But those are the places that we would send people to see the products that they're going to order, or where we're going to create carts to share, where our customers can directly go with the products that they want right away and just walk through that process. But this lays it out very easy for them, their distributor ID, where their back office is, and what their replicated website is. Now the next part on this, that step B on the left side there, qualifying to be paid. We really want people to understand that it's going to take a minimum of 200 PV personal volume for them to maximize the compensation plan. And when they sign up new distributors and new customers, that launch bonus will only pay if they have 200 plus PV. Now we know a portion of that can be offset by customers, but I would write down right away, what is their auto shipping at? You know, where do we have them set out without any customers in the business right now? So is it at that 100 to 199 mark where they would get 30% pay, or is it 200 plus? What are they ordering? It's pretty easy for somebody at this point. It's not like at the beginning when we only had one bottle of Protandim to get people on. Now between like the Vitality Stack and Axio, True Science, there's plenty of ways for them to get their personal order in there and at least get to that 100 PV mark, if not 200 plus. So see where they're at. Let them know the importance of qualifying to be paid on the generational match. And then the short-term goals. You know, what do they want to do? How fast do they want to run? If we don't have these conversations, we're assuming that one roadmap fits everybody, and that isn't necessarily the case. Some people, you know, they want to walk with this or just dip their toe in the water. Some people, though, they want to run and they want to get started quick. They want their money back quick. So ask them, you know, how fast do you want to get your return on investment? How fast do you want to get to Pro 1? Maybe they signed up as a Platinum Pack and they're already a Pro 1, and you're jumping down to what's their goal date to get to Pro 2? What's their goal date to Pro 3? Give you a little tease here. There will be something in Indianapolis that will have a direct benefit on going through this with people, kind of a dangling carrot to get people to Pro 2 and Pro 3 as fast as they possibly can when they start their business. So you got to show up to Indy to hear it first. So just to kind of, again, just a little tease, there will be more information on that. And then getting into the why. And the next page is going to actually be kind of blank to go through the why with them. And I'll talk about that here in a second. But the last part on this first page is their support team. Give them your information. Write it down there, your phone number, your email, and then 2 of your upline that will work with them as well. Get them on the phone, introduce them so they know who these people are. But then right away, they have 3 people right there that they know they can work with as they build this business. So this the second page is the blank portion for the why. A couple things that I would look at on here is not only, you know, the reason that they're wanting to do this, but also what are they looking to get out of this financially. Pull out the income disclosure sheet. You can always find that at lifevantage.com in the bottom right-hand corner. Click on that. It'll open up, you know, what the ranks, the average ranks get paid from Pro 1 to Pro 10. See where they want to eventually get and why do they want to get there? You know, is it supplemental income? Is it, you know, just another income stream? If it is another income stream, how much? Is it replacing full-time income? Or maybe they are looking for that big money. But if you don't ask those questions and work through this with them, you know, again, you have a generalized roadmap, but it's not specific to this person. So I would go through not only the why that's going to make you cry, but also financially why. You know, what are you looking to get out of this? Databasing, step 2. This is going to help you walk through and give you a couple lists here on page 4 and 5 for them to get started right away on databasing. And what we're talking about here is listing down as many people as possible, starting your list. Do this again with them. I would never ever send a new distributor away and say, come back with this list. I would try to get it done right away. Because chances are when you just tell people to go and do something and then you touch base with them a week later, not everybody's going to have done that. And I'd say for the most part, most people won't have done that if you don't do it with them and do it right away. Remind them that we're not prejudging. Just write down names. At this point, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter, you know, why or how you're going to approach them or anything like that. We're just trying to create a list as big as possible. And then I'll talk about the reason why here in a second, but I want you to think about this for a second. If somebody actually filled out pages 4 and 5 completely with 80 names, and, you know, at first they come in and they haven't done network marketing before, they're not very good at exposing the information to people, and they share it with 10 people, and 9 out of the 10 people don't want to even look at it, or their nose right away. If they only had a list of, let's say, 15, 20 people, and 10 of them are already, you know, telling them no, they don't want to look at it, they might start to get frustrated before they've even really begun. And, you know, I always remember our mentors telling us, you got to be bad before you're good and good before you're great. Now, take that same person and let's assume that they filled out 80 people here on these 2 pages and 10 people tell them no. You know, is it as daunting? Because now they have another 70 people and we can always go back and help them get the information back in front of those initial people that maybe it wasn't done very good at the beginning. But we want them to have a big enough list that they aren't out of the game, you know, 2 days in. So the next part that I would do with somebody after you have this list of names completed is go back and add a second column that says why. Why did you think about this person? For some people, it could be health-related reasons. For other people, it might be because you thought of them about a business reason. Some people might be blank. And what I would challenge you to do once you have that down with every single person is start looking at the people that are blank, that you didn't have a reason, you just wrote down their name, and see if you know enough about this person at that point in your life, or is it a person that you need to reconnect with and have conversations with before, and asking enough questions that you find out something that you can come back and talk about Lifevantage with. Because I promise you, if you ask enough questions, you will find something to bring up Lifevantage either on the product side or the business side with them. So write down that list of why. I think it's very important for people. And the third column that we have here is just a quick check mark. if they've seen the ABC report or not. Because if you have this list of people and you don't know who's seen what, or even if they've seen the video, it's pretty hard to keep track of what you're doing. So, there might be other ways that you keep track of this. This is just, kind of a template that if you have nothing else, would be a good strategy for you to incorporate into your business right away. Now, what do we do once we have this database list? How can we translate that into something that's beneficial to grow our business? And again, I'm going through this really, really fast. I have, I think, an hour or an hour and a half long training that goes through every single page in depth on this, but I wanted to give you that 10,000 foot overview today. So once you have this database list, now we're starting to invite, okay? And what I would do is take that list, now that you have the name and the reason why you're inviting them, and find a message that sounds right for you. So for me, for example, I might have looked at this list, and the first 3 people that I had on there, I had Bob and I had Amy and I had Lisa. I'm finding a way that I can use the name and the why to invite them to see that ABC report. So Bob, for example, I might say, hey Bob, I've known you since we were 18. It seems like everybody in your family, by the time that they're 40, 45, they've had some kind of heart problems. There's this ABC Primetime Investigative Report. You got to check it out. It's going to blow your mind. And then Amy, I'm saying the same types of things to her, but I'm making it about her specific to that why that I wrote down. So Amy, ever since I've known you, we graduated college together. It seems like everything that you touch in the business world just turns to gold. You're such an amazing businesswoman. There's this ABC Primetime Investigative Report. You've got to check it out. It's going to blow your mind. So those are 2 different, reasons why they're looking to see the information, but it's about them and it's not about me. Lisa, hey, I love hanging out with you. I love doing life together with you. There's this ABC Primetime Investigative Report. You got to check it out because I really think that it's something that we could do together. So things like that make it easy for you then to plug your database directly into invites to get people in front of the information. And then there's some other, examples on there as well, but we're really trying to get them either to live meetings, one-on-one, in-home meetings, webinars, large group meetings, some way to get them in front of the ABC Primetime Investigative Report, and then following up with them to find out what they like best about it. And there's also some pre-recorded webinars and stuff that we have on the YouTube channel out there as well, Shawn and Michelle Poe. On YouTube. So there's lots of different ways. We do live webinars all the time. Dr. Mark Gordon just did one tonight. I'm going to be doing another one tomorrow night. There's lots of different ways that you can get the information in front of people as you learn the business. And again, we're doing this with the people. So I would invite with them the first couple times so they can ask questions, or you can talk to them afterwards and ask them what felt good, what didn't feel good, what could you change or tweak just a little bit to make it sound more like you, or what didn't feel comfortable, and have those dialogues with them as they're trying to test out these invites. Telling the story. I cannot say this strongly enough, I don't think, but I believe that in this business, in order to become successful, you have to become a master storyteller. And there's a couple different stories that you're going to learn to tell. You're going to learn what your story is. You're going to learn what the company story is, and you're going to learn what the business story is. But the company story, if you've been in the business for a while, you've probably heard it enough that you understand what it is. And we're letting the ABC Primetime Report do the initial heavy lifting, but then it's talking about, we're a publicly traded company. After that ABC Primetime video aired, millions of orders came in overnight. The stock went from $1 a share to $20. You've heard this story, and once people have heard it enough times, they're going to start to be able to tell the story themselves, the company story. But at first, they might just know their story. So what about your background? What did you do, or what do you do for a living? And we're not talking about being a network marketer. We're talking about, your prior career or profession, or what you do for work prior to starting Lifevantage. What didn't you like about it, or what don't you like about it? What's your pain? What have you found? What's the solution that network marketing offers that your current industry or profession doesn't offer? And how do you feel about the future? Where do you think that this is headed, or what's happened for you? What are your results? So within those four separate categories there, you can really help people craft what their story is. And this is going to change. It's not going to stay the same. 7 years in, our story looks a heck of a lot different than it did 7 years ago when we first started doing this. So for example, what I put down is I used to work corporate treasury for Citigroup. I hated the fact that the higher I climbed the corporate ladder, the more time I was expected to be at work. And what I found was this business model offers time freedom for me to be with my family more. I was able to walk away from the corporate world, and I want to help as many people get time freedom as possible. So that'd be one example of crafting your story. Another one, this is Michelle's background. She used to work in the mortgage industry. She loved being 100% commission, but she didn't like that every month it started back at zero. And she found that with this business model, it offers true residual income where you get paid over and over for work you did in the past. Nobody knows about this technology yet, and we're excited to help as many other people get financial freedom as well. It might be a product testimony, how this affected and changed your life on your integrating this into your health strategy. But really become masterful at telling the story, almost like if you those of you that are on here, if you have kids, when your child was small, there was probably a book that you read over and over and over again. And the first time you had to read the words, right? You had to understand who the character words and learn who they were. But probably the 12th time that you read it, you could tell most of the story without reading it anymore. And you got a lot more animated and into it. And it became something that the child just begged for you to tell over and over again. And if you become masterful at telling these 3 stories, your business will have a dramatic shift in 2018. So learn how to tell the story. Following up, we know that today people are inundated with more and more information than ever before on the marketing front. It used to be that 5 or 6 times is when you would get somebody to get to a buying decision. The last I heard with social media marketing and how often we're exposed to stuff, it's up to about 15 or 16 times before people see something that they actually make a buying decision. But then look at those trends. This is going to tell you that 92% of people give up before the 5th time, and only 8% will ask a 5th time. However, 80% of prospects say no at least 4 times before saying yes, and I'm telling you it's even higher than that now because of all the inundation that we have on social media and things like that, just browsing the internet. We're constantly inundated with different things, and we really don't take them serious until we've seen it over and over again. So fortune is in the follow-up. Ensure that you're doing the follow-up. So again, this is just teaching people up front what to expect and how to have more success. And we're going to continue to teach these things as we go on, but I think it's important for a new person to at least hear how we do the follow-up and the importance of that, and that their database isn't going away. Just because somebody told you no doesn't mean they come off the database, right? We have to follow up with them. That doesn't mean that you follow up with them 5 times in a week. You might, if that's what they're looking for, and you're having productive conversation on it over and over again. But I would treat this more like over the course of 2 to 5 years that you're building the business, not over the course of 2 to 5 months. So make sure that the relationship with the person, the prospect, is way more important than getting them into the business. Anytime that you start to feel that they're pulling back, I would pull back with how much I'm putting this in front of them, and give it a little bit more time before that next trip, before that next follow-up. Closing and resolving concerns. You can quickly talk about, how we use feel, felt, found. But the biggest thing with resolving concerns that I would teach a new person and getting them started is they're going to hear us do it via third-party communication, right? We have third-party validation that we're going to use over and over again. Once they've had somebody see the information, they're asking what they liked best about it. That's when they're turning it over for somebody else that's been in the business longer that can answer their question. So one of the best things a new person can say when somebody asks a question is say, I don't know. That's a great question, but I know who knows the answer. Hold on. And get somebody else on the phone to start answering their questions. And honestly, there's probably 20 questions that we get asked over and over again. 90% of the time it's within those 20 questions. And if you hear them enough times, you're going to know how to answer them yourself for your downline when that comes up down the road. But at first, again, we're turning it over to other people to close and resolve concerns. And I promise you, I will have a much easier time trying to close your friends and your family and asking them if they're ready to join the business or if they're ready to get started on the products than you probably will be, right? Because I don't have that emotional attachment necessarily that you do, and I'm not worried about what they're going to say. I'm sharing information, I'm answering their questions, and I'm just finding out where they are. What do they like about it? Are they ready to get started or not? Or if they're not, what questions do they have? And that's really what we're doing, is a constant filtering process where we're finding out yes, no's, and maybes. The no's, we're asking for permission down the road to follow up with them. The maybes, we're finding out what questions that they have so we can help get those answered to see if they're a yes or a no. And the yeses, do you want to come in as a customer or a distributor and get them started? Meet them where they're at. Don't try to push them into something that they're not ready for. Okay, accountability. I think this is a big one, and I would spend some time on this, because in the bottom right, you're going to see if you're ready to commit and you understand the process of the business, this is not a complicated business. That doesn't mean that it's easy, but it's not complicated, and these are the steps to getting started and doing the business. And if this makes sense and you're ready to follow that roadmap, are you ready to commit for these things? Are you ready to sign up for the next Elite Academy or convention? Okay, and we're telling them when it is and getting them signed up if we can right then and there. And they're approximately every 4 months. So right now we're pushing to Indy. Next, we'll be pushing to Anaheim in July. And then later in the year, global convention in Salt Lake City. So those are the 3 things in 2018 that you'll look for to get them signed up and committed to right then. Then signing up for Lifevantage Academy. Know where your closest Lifevantage Academy is. Some of you have it in your backyard, some of you don't, but they need this training. It's 8 times a year, and it's 3 to 4 hours on a Saturday. So if they're ready, sign them up for the next LVA, let them know where it's at, and get them registered for that. And then I would sign them up for the date of their first home meeting and the date of the second one, because this is going to help them when they're inviting people to the information. They can say, hey, I'm having people over on Thursday. I thought of you because you're an amazing business person, or I know that you've been dealing with diabetes. You've got to check out this meeting. It's going to absolutely blow your mind. And then you're telling them, I'm having one at 7:30 on Thursday at my house. Can you be there? And if they say no, if you have this second date already set up, that's where you can invite them to the second one right away. Hey, I understand, I'm super busy too. If Thursday doesn't work, how about this Saturday, or how about Monday? I would love to catch up and maybe grab a cup of coffee with you, but give them multiple ways that they can invite people. And if they're saying they're not available at the first time, there's already a couple other times set up that you can help get the information in front of them. So these little things, these little tips are ways that are going to help people feel comfortable with the information. It's going to give them a high level overview of what we're doing. And again, this is simply, it's the words out of the blueprint in a very condensed version of it. And then on this last page, we just give them some resources, and these might be different for you. But again, we're going to post this on our Facebook page, One Person Big Difference. If you don't know where that's at, or you're not part of it, just reach out to your upline. They can help get you connected into that. But all the information that we have, we want everybody to have as well. So this just gives them some of the meetings that we have. Sunday night training, this is what we're doing right now, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Central every single Sunday. We've been doing this, Michelle and I, for I think now 6 years. Here's the Zoom meeting. Here's the call-in information. It's something that I would encourage every single person to be on all the time. The Monday motivational call. Here's the call-in information. Here's the access information. The Thursday night opportunity call. It's done by various elite distributors. It's the same call-in as the Monday motivational, but it at least gives them something to walk away with, where they have right away 3 different things that they can plug into. One for training, one for motivation to start your week, and then an opportunity call that's done every Thursday night. We have a WhatsApp group that isn't necessarily, for everybody. And then the different Facebook groups that we post to as well. And it gives them the information on this. And then down in the bottom right, if they want some information to get started right away on learning about the profession or the industry, this is where I would send somebody to get that information. I wish we would have had this information the first year, but we didn't. Go Pro, when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many things in there. If I would have known about this, it would have helped transition me into this profession a little easier. Or the first year in network marketing, the abridged version by Mark Yarnell. It's absolutely unbelievable, and it frames people in the right state of mind and what to expect and understand as they do this business. Carrie Dickey, pro, I think she's 94 now. Her book, The View from Venus, she knows this industry inside and out. So these are things that you can plug people into to get a little bit more information from experts in the industry, in the profession. So I know that was very, very quick, but it was actually 25 minutes worth of information. I want to leave enough time for Joanne. Let me make sure that Joanne's on here. I'm going to stop sharing here, and I will have to unmute her. Joanne, I see Joanne.
Hi, you see me? Okay.
Joanne, can I hear you?
Yes, are you hearing me?
I can. So this is the amazing Joanne Shearer Parkin, and I am thrilled that you're willing to come on here. She just had surgery not too long ago. She had a pickleball accident and fractured her wrist, and had to have a plate, I think, put in, and she's recovering from that. So I appreciate you taking time. I want you to understand that Joanne isn't just a regular distributor. She knows this science inside and out. She actually started the dietitian part of the heart hospital here in Sioux Falls like 40 years ago. She has spoken all across, I know, at least the nation, probably globally, at different dietitian events. She is a wealth of knowledge on our products. So I want to turn some time over to Joanne. And again, I appreciate you taking time, and I wish you a very, very speedy recovery.
Well, thank you, Mark. I have to say that I'm very glad that I have been taking Nerf 2, Pro Bio, all of the wonderful Lifevantage products, because I feel like I'm way ahead of schedule already. Excuse me, I need some water. Hold on just a minute. Oh, thank you. Because it's amazing, because I just have to give a little testimony, because I had the surgery late on Friday, and today is Sunday. So we're going on to, and within a day and a half, I have no pain, and I'm taking no pain medication, right? I actually don't think I have much swelling going on there anyways in this hand. So I just feel like my recovery already, I'm just seeing amazing progress. So I'm just glad that, I have, like I said, I'm so glad I've been taking these products for the last 7 years. And so tonight, I'm not going to be talking to you about Nerf 2 activation. I'm going to be talking to you about the physique weight management products. And particularly tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about the fat burn and about the physique protein shake. Now, the physique weight management system, it's a system of 4 products, because I know that people have asked me, can I just take one product? And, certainly you can, but you're just not going to get the results without taking the whole system, because the products are intended to work in 2 ways. There's 2 principles with our products. Remember that this is not a complete diet, our products. You still have to make healthy food choices, and you still have to include some fitness and some exercise. This isn't just sit on the couch and pop a pill. That's not what our program is. This is a support, and this is a support to help you in 2 ways. First is to help you with the gut-brain communication, and we have 2 products that help you with that. That's the cleanse, and that's the probiotic. Why is that important? It's important because your gut is going to communicate with your brain. It's going to tell you when you're full. It's also going to help you with digestion of those nutrients, and it's going to help you to be able to really lose the right kind of weight as well. And then the other principle with our program is to help you to preserve your lean body mass. That's the other principle. Healthy gut, brain-gut communication. Second principle, help you to lose the fat, keep the lean. That's important because your lean body mass is more biologically active. What does that mean? Well, your muscles move, fat doesn't. It sits there like a blob. It doesn't burn as many calories, right? That affects your basal metabolic rate. So when you lose your lean body mass, if you go on some extreme dieting program and you lose your lean body mass, you're going to lower your metabolic rate. You're going to lower the rate at which you burn calories. And what's going to happen then? When you try to eat a normal diet, you're going to gain the weight back plus more. So we want you to get off that dieting roller coaster. So we want to help you to lose the right kind of weight. So let's talk first about the fat burn. That product is amazing. And I think I've told this before, I was kind of a skeptic, being a dietitian, nutritionist, I've seen every kind of fat burn, weight loss product come along in my 40 years, right? But I have to tell you, this is really a healthy product. This is a great product. I think that this is a genius of a product because the ingredients in this product are nutrient ingredients. The first one is citrus fruits extracts. That's called Sinotrol. The other ingredient is coffee bean extracts, a patented form of a coffee bean extract, because you can go see it on the internet and you can find coffee bean extracts out there, right? Well, this is a patented form called Sveltol, which means it has science. In fact, I have the studies. I have it right here in my files. I have the studies that show that this is a kind of a coffee bean extract has ingredient called chlorogenic acids. This is what helps you to lose the fat, to help you to burn the fat. So you have these two ingredients that are safe, not toxic. They're not thermogenic. They're not going to increase your heart rate. They're not going to cause any problems or issues that way, because that was a concern with some of those fat burn products. And so both of these ingredients in the fat burn, the Sveltol, the coffee bean extract, and the citrus extracts, both of these ingredients have human clinical trials, double-blind placebo-controlled trials in human subjects, showing that each of these ingredients individually help you to lose the abdominal fat, particularly the abdominal obesity, while it helps you to preserve your lean body mass. So how do you take that product? You take 2 pills with the 2 largest meal of the day before your meal. Try to get those pills on the board a few minutes before your meal. Take your fat burn pills before the 2 largest meal of the day. And you can take the fat burn long term because there are health benefits of our fat burn. What are the health benefits? The research shows that it can actually help lower something called CRP, which is a marker of inflammation in your body. So when you start losing that toxic belly fat, that toxic belly fat promotes inflammation. So you see, you're getting another great benefit because that fat burn is going to help with lowering that CRP, that marker of inflammation. It actually increases a little bit, gives you a little boost in some of those antioxidant enzymes like glutathione, superoxide dismutase, not the huge boost that you get from protandim NRF2, but it adds to the protandim NRF2. It gives you a little bit more of a boost. See, so what you're seeing is that this is a health product. This is a good product for overall health. The other benefit is that in the research, it showed that it actually helped to lower the blood glucose, the blood sugar levels. Now, these were non-diabetic subjects. They didn't have diabetes. But their blood sugars, you could see in the research, they were getting up there. They were climbing up, right? And you could see that these subjects had a drop in their blood glucose, which meant that they were using their blood sugars better. They were utilizing that glucose in a better way. So fat burn, amazing, absolutely great product. And the second product I'm going to talk about is our protein shake, our physique protein shake. And now there's a lot of competition out there in that protein shake category. So what Jim and I did one day, we went to our local supermarket in Sioux Falls, and it had like this huge roll of protein shakes, right? So we went to the supermarket, and you can do this, or you can go to the health food store. I would invite you just to pick up any shake that's on the shelf and read the ingredients. You're going to find artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, artificial colors, and a whole bunch of garbage in those products. You're going to find a lot of soy protein isolate, which I'm not a big fan of, just taking a boatload of isolated soy protein. Whole food soy is fine, but when you take and extract it, then there's some concerns about that. So what is in our physique protein that is superior to anything that you're going to find in that supermarket? By the way, when we did that, we found only one product out of, I don't know, about 12 to 15. We were pulling these products off the shelf, looking at what's in these products. I think we found only one ingredient, one protein shake that was even equivalent to our physique shake in terms of quality. So what's the quality of our protein shake? The whey protein concentrate is the main ingredient. So 80% of the protein in our whey protein shake is this whey protein concentrate. It's like a whole food. because you're going to find some whey protein products out there that are whey protein isolate. Well, because they isolate the protein, they extract it out, you're going to get a low, they might see that they have a higher protein. So that's maybe not necessarily the right way to go, because the whey protein concentrate has cofactor nutrients, immunoglobulins, which help to boost your immune system. So it's much superior of a source of whey protein is the whey protein concentrate versus the isolate. So that's one thing we have going for us, right? That whey protein concentrate. And then what you'll find is in our whey protein shake, we have a little bit of casein in there, which helps with satiety. So you don't get as hungry so fast. Because you've noticed that with some of the shakes, you drink them and then 2 hours later, you're starving again. Well, that's the beauty with our product too. And I've noticed that myself. I can, well, when I was playing pickleball, I'd have a shake in the morning, and I'd go play 2 hours of pickleball, and, I'd have enough energy to sustain me for the whole time. So, it's a great, wonderful shake. Artificial colorings, flavorings, it's gluten-free. I mean, on and on. It's fabulous. But I think probably of all the things that you're looking for in a shake, number one, I would say, okay, this is me, taste. Because no matter how great a shake is, no matter how wonderful it is, or how great, I know this with food too, no matter how nutrient dense and how great it is, if it tastes bad, you're not going to eat it, right? So that's what we have with our protein shake. We have an amazingly delicious shake that it almost tastes sinful, doesn't it, when you drink that shake? And so that's the other benefit of our shake. I know when I worked in healthcare, we had some whey protein products that we would try to give our patients, a whey protein powder that we try to mix in and disguise the flavor. Well, because because it would be gritty and it would be terrible, And we always tried to feed whey protein to our critically ill patients, those who had had surgeries that had just come out of the ICU that were very sick. We wanted to feed them whey protein because of the benefits for boosting their immune system. It's the best protein in the form of protein to help you to build your lean body mass. And it was for those sick patients too as well that we wanted them to get their muscle mass back. And we knew that whey protein was the best for that. So there's going to be a lot of other shakes out there. There are going to be some, I know there's some vegetable powder proteins. I know for people that are vegans or vegetarians, yes, that's going to be their choice. And I understand that. But those vegetable proteins just do not measure up clinically and scientifically in terms of providing the benefits for building your lean body mass and also for immune enhancing benefits. Okay. So I think with that, Shawn, I think I'm going to end with that just so that people, I just want to say that I hope you've learned a couple key principles here tonight, with our weight management system. We're all about getting your gut healthy. We're helping you to preserve your lean body mass and lose the fat. Okay.
I love it. I love it. You're such an expert, and I learn every time that you speak about these. I wouldn't have had the first idea how to talk about even like the probiotics without you and Nikki kind of leading the charge on that. So we appreciate your knowledge, your expertise. And one thing I want to tell you guys, I was going through the participant list. We had about 110 people on at one point during this. But one thing that stuck out to me was how many elites that we actually have on these calls that are plugged in to learning this information over and over and over again. Because even though this is very simplistic, it's getting back to the basics and knowing how to talk about the basics of the business that all of us have had success. And there were 5 different Pro 9s on the call, several 7s as well. And that just speaks volumes to me that these are trainings that you have to be on, and you have to plug your group into these so that they can get on a consistent basis 30 to 45 minutes of education on how to do the business properly and learn about the products that we're helping integrate into people's health strategy. So with that, I cannot wait to see what everybody does closing out the month of January. I know that we have tons and tons of rank advancements that are happening and the next 4 or 5 months. If you put your head down, plug in, and do the work necessary, you're going to be amazed at where your business is going to go to start 2018. So we will see everybody hopefully in Indianapolis here in a couple weeks, and we will be back talking with you next Sunday night as well. Or actually, I don't know if we are next Sunday night because of the Super Bowl. So might be two Sundays from now. But anyway, we will see you guys here soon, and have a great end of the month, and take care. Have a great week.